Major Rahman Lejoka-Brown was a man whose footsteps sounded like drumbeats and whose voice could rattle the windows of a moving train. A retired soldier of the Great Wars, he walked with his chest pushed forward as if he were carrying the weight of the entire African continent on his shoulders. After years of the battlefield, the Major decided to conquer a different kind of terrain, the world of politics. He sought the chieftaincy title and a seat in the regional government, believing that the same surprise and attack tactics that won wars could win votes. However, the Major's foundation was built on a web of secrets that stretched across the land. In his large compound in the village of Umu Oda, he maintained a household that was a carefully constructed political machine. His first wife was Mama Rashida. She was a woman of quiet strength and ancient wisdom, inherited from his late elder brother according to the customs of their ancestors. She was the one who managed the home, tended to the chickens, and kept the traditional spirits of the house appeased. To the Major, she was his link to the elders and the traditionalists whose respect he needed to secure his political base. His second wife was Sikira. She was a whirlwind of energy and fire, the daughter of the president of the Market Women's Union. The Major had married her purely for strategy. He knew that the market women held the keys to the economy and the hearts of the common folk. Through Sikira, he believed he could command the loyalty of every woman who sold pepper, cloth, or palm oil in the province. But there was a third secret, hidden thousands of miles away, years prior. While serving as a peacekeeping officer in the Congo, the Major had married Liza, a brilliant Kenyan medical doctor. To Liza, the Major was a modern, monogamous, progressive man. He had never told her about the inherited traditions of Mama Rashida or the political convenience of Sikira. He told her he lived in a world of science and logic, waiting for her to finish her studies in the United States so they could build a modern life together. The madness began the day a telegram arrived at the compound. Liza was returning. She was no longer a student, she was a doctor of medicine, and she was coming home to her monogamous husband. The Major's world tilted. He scrambled like a man trying to catch smoke with his bare hands. He ordered Mama Rashida to stay in the shadows of the backyard, telling her that a high-ranking government official with a contagious fever was coming to stay in the guest wing. He told Sikira to act like a humble housemaid, warning her that the visitor was a woman of great importance who could destroy his political chances if she saw the chaos of a polygamous home. When Liza arrived, she brought with her the air of foreign cities and the sharp eyes of a scientist. She found the Major acting like a man possessed. He would jump from one room to the other, changing his clothes and his personality in seconds. In the guest wing, he was the suave, English-speaking gentleman, discussing global affairs with Liza. In the kitchen, he was the traditional lord, barking orders at Mama Rashida. In the courtyard, he was the political campaigner, trying to keep Sikira from speaking too loudly. The tension in the compound became a living thing. The Major's military mind began to fray. He started applying military drills to household chores. He would march through the hallways shouting, "Left, right, left," at the furniture. He attempted to run his political campaign meetings from the dining table, using salt shakers and pepper grinders as divisions and platoons to map out his attack on the ballot box. One afternoon, the inevitable collision occurred. Liza, curious about the housemaid who carried herself with such pride, and the auntie who seemed to own the kitchen, decided to ignore the Major's warnings of contagious fevers. She walked into the courtyard and found Mama Rashida and Sikira sharing a bowl of garden eggs. The truth did not come out as a scream. It came out as a slow, cold realization. As the three women talked, the Major's lies were stripped away like bark from a dead tree. Liza realized she was wife number 3. Sikira realized she was a political tool. Mama Rashida realized her husband had abandoned the very traditions he pretended to uphold. The Major walked into the courtyard to find his 3 worlds sitting together in silence. His mind, unable to process the total failure of his surprise and attack strategy, finally snapped. He began to run in circles, chasing an imaginary enemy. He grabbed a broom and began to bayonet the air, shouting orders to soldiers who went there. He started to sing war songs from the Congo, mixing them with political slogans and traditional chants. Liza and the other wives watched him. They didn't see a lion. They saw a man who had choked on his own ambition. In a moment of strange playfulness born from her American education, Liza began to chase the major back, laughing as she tried to capture the retreating soldier. To the traditional eyes of the neighbors and the market women who had gathered at the gate to see their candidate, this was the ultimate proof of insanity. Sikira, seeing her mother the powerful president of the market women among the crowd, stood tall. She realized that she held more power in her voice than the major ever held in his medals. She pointed a finger at the man who was now trying to hide behind a water pot. "Look at him!" Sikira shouted to the crowd. "The man who wants to lead you cannot even lead his own heart. He built walls of lies, and now he's trapped inside them. Our husband has gone mad again. Look at what he did to us, and ask yourselves if this is the man you want to hold the staff of office." The political rally that was meant to crown the major became his funeral. The market women withdrew their support. The elders turned their backs. The major was expelled from his party before the sun set. In the aftermath, a new order rose in the compound. The women did not live in shame. They stayed in strength. Liza used her medical knowledge to open a clinic in the village, with Mama Rashida managing the traditional herbal gardens that supplied the medicines. Sikira, using the very platform the major had built for himself, ran for office. She spoke with a truth that the major never possessed, and she won the hearts of the people. Major Rahman Lejoka-Brown remained in the house, a quiet shadow of his former self. He spent his days marching in the backyard, commanding his chickens to stand at attention, while the three women he tried to manipulate became the true leaders of Umu Oda.